Welcome back to Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans. I'm Steven, and tonight, whenever the heck you're watching this, we are finally getting into a review of a bottle I've been talking about for like the last 3 months. Wilderness Trail Bourbon Whiskey. Before we get into this bottle, please do me that favor, like, comment, subscribe, do all those great YouTube things. Seriously helps us out a ton and we appreciate the support. But let's get into Wilderness Trail Bottled and Bond Small Batch Bourbon. What the heck is this? What are you? This is a kind of crafty kind of Kentucky distillery. I mean, it's honestly at this point, it's getting so big that it's not really craft anymore, but it's a Kentucky distillery that's not one of the big heritage names like Brown-Forman, Wild Turkey, Four Roses, all those names. This is it's a new up-and-coming king of Kentucky. I mean, it's not King of Kentucky, unfortunately, but it's a new kid on the block. This stuff, with this being bottled and bond, it's 50% ABV, 100 proof. This is the Ride small batch version. You can tell based off of here on the labels. If it's yellow, that means it's wheated. If it's this gray, brown, black label, that means it is the Ride mash bill. So this is a Ride mash bill. It is 100 proof, 50% ABV. And in my area, it's around $49.99 usually, where I find it on the shelves. I mean, that may vary in your area, but overall, it's a bottled and bond product. It's kind of at the threshold of where whiskey starts getting really good for the price. So $50 for me at least, unless if obviously we're looking at budget pours, but like $50-$60 is where whiskey starts getting really good. Like you can get a really great $60 bottle nowadays. 50, it's almost there, but like it's close. It's extremely close. So, is this worth the $50? Let's get into it. Ooh, sweet, slightly corny, very cherry. Nice caramels, vanillas, brown sugars. I mean, cinnamon. It's honestly a very sweet traditional bourbon. Very sweet vanilla, brown sugar, caramel forward, but still has that like back layer of the cinnamon. Honestly, one day I do need to buy, so I'm not a weeder kind of guy, to be honest. Don't love weeded bourbons, but at some point I do need to buy their weeded bourbon just to kind of see like what does the Ride versus the weeded do, because I think that'd be a fun video. Let me know down below if you want me to do that. Honestly, this is just a really nice, sweet, traditional bourbon. No ethanol burn, not any huge, dark, aggressive, like aged flavors. It's very cherries, strawberries, cinnamon, brown sugar sweetness, caramel. Not getting any sort of weird, funky notes on there. It's just extremely sweet. I mean, I like it. Let's go ahead and get on the nose. A palate gets a little nutty, a little nuttier. Still very vanilla, very creamy caramels. It's honestly, for a Ride bourbon, it's very soft. Not getting too much. I'm getting like a little bit of like a nutmeg characteristic, like an earthy nutmeg on the palate, but like it's not very spicy. There's not a big rye punch. It's honestly just very sweet and crushable. There is a slight tinge of nuttiness, like a little tip, just a little of nuttiness, and then it just develops into this really nice brown sugar, caramels, vanillas, slight oak, a little bit of a nutmeg, maybe some cinnamon going on in there. Lots of cherry and brown sugar. Like those are the most two dominating notes. It's cherry, brown sugars, caramels. Honestly, this is just kind of like a traditional bourbon. Very, very sweet, very simple with the flavors, but it's done right. Like, there's no offensive, weird shit going on. It's just sweet, nice, easy, has those traditional notes, doesn't have any weird like Dickel orange minerality note or like some weird crazy like super nutty. Like, the only thing is that little of nuttiness that you get like right at the front end of the palate, and then it instantly goes away. Ooh, nose is getting a little bit more strawberry forward. It was very cherry with a tinge of strawberries. Now it's getting a lot more of like a 50-50 blend of the two fruits. Yeah, and that finish is just cherries, brown sugar, and a tinge of oakiness, oaky stuff. It's a little oaky on the finish. This is just a damn good, easy bourbon. No offensive notes. 100 proof, so it's an easy drinking, sipping proof. Nose, fantastic. I like the nose the best because there's no weird stuff going on in the nose. The finish, it's not the most complex thing in the world, but it's, I mean, you can't complain about brown sugar and strawberries and a little dip of oak. You can't complain about that. And the palate, aside from that weird little nuttiness that hits you instantly and then fades off just as quick as it hits you, the palate's fantastic too. Like, this is just a really great, easy sipping bourbon. I've been giving out a lot of buys recently, so it's kind of weird to say this, but I'm a buy on this one. I think it's good. There's nothing offensive about it. It's not weird. It's not in like a crazy price dynamic where I don't feel comfortable saying buy it. Like, it's $49.99. Yeah, it's not as cheap as your Bullet Bourbon or, you know, your Old Forester 100 proof, but I think it has more going on than a lot of those. And yeah, it's not as complex as some of your $60, $70 bottles, but again, it's $50. So I don't think it quite gets to that like super high level price tag that I was hoping it would be, because I kind of hoped it would be a $50 bottle that tastes like a $60 or $70 bottle. It's more like a $50 bottle that tastes like a $50 bottle. There's nothing to complain about that. Like, it's just good. But that's going to be a wrap for this video. Please do us that favor. Like, comment, subscribe. Leave a comment down below. If you've had this bottle, what do you think about it? How do you feel about it? What do you think about my review? Also, what outside of this bottle do you suggest I check out from Wilderness Trail? I have their cask strength, like 110 proof version of the small batch rye bourbon. I freaking love that stuff. That's so freaking good. So good. So good. But we're not reviewing that one. Also, check out the Instagram, Patreon, and the Facebook. The links for all that stuff are down there below. That's a wrap for this video. Cheers, y'all. We will see you in the next review.